one I think that would come to mind that kind of answers your question. There's a product called Nanit. Again, you have children, maybe some of you have. It's a connected baby monitor. And so this was a team of computer vision scientists who had developed a very unique visioning system, algorithms that were so far ahead of what anyone was doing in that space at the time, where they could analyze an infant's sleep patterns and quality of sleep, and actually, be assessing their movements within the 10th of a millimeter into pitch black in a nursery. And the only catch was that this technology needed to live suspended directly over the center of a crib at a certain specific height. And the question was, how to turn this into a product that any non-technical parent knows how to use and set up and calibrate. That's something that feels beautiful in a modern nursery, that is complementary to that space, and it does not feel like I have now put a Wi-Fi security camera hovered over my child's crib, which presented a lot of concerns. Some of those being concerns that people don't understand the dangers of how this is working, and also just this isn't going to fall on them during the night. So that really sparked a whole journey of what this should be, and a very specific example was where we started to talk about what else it could do, because we already knew the main function of what it could do. But we started to explore it as more of a lighting feature, and this should be a piece of modern, beautiful lighting that actually is suspended above the crib, that has this shaded dome that lives above it, that's frosted glass, and not in glass, but that when you need a functional light during the night, using the connected app, you can actually come into the room, have it softly ambient glow, so it becomes very functional. And also, when it's living in the space, when it's not in use, it feels like a beautiful complement to that space. So that sparked a lot of development into what it would look and feel like, what the design language was going to be, how you would set it up, how you would actually build the stand that it came from to anchor it in the right place, child safety around where cord managements, a lot of regulations around cords being close to cribs, and also in actually developing that feature, which ended up being this feature that wasn't really kind of initially focused on what we were doing, became a very specific thing that was hard to achieve, because we wanted the upper housing of a piece of electronics to glow very softly with no shadows, which it's getting more technical about it, means there can be no structure on the inside of that part, because you get shadows from the structure of the part as it goes through, so everything in there needs to be mounted to the base of the camera. Then there could be no fasteners, there could be no other details on most of the structure of this part. And that development and prototyping and trying to say, this is the design vision that we all agree to, and this is something that we think is going to be so compelling, both functionally and emotionally, within the design language in connection to the brand, and maintaining that vision and solving for it as we're working through all the iterations of the product, and not, even though it was very challenging, to not get into letting that fall away, because it was easier to not do that, right? It's easier to just make a completely opaque camera that it's really easy to engineer inside, and it's going to be robust and simple. Use screws for fasteners because no one will see them. We had to come up with a lot of other solutions to that. So I think that embodies a lot of what we do in a sense, which is, latching on to the emotional and functional needs for that brand, and merging those, and then maintaining that vision and making sure through all the constantly development, prototyping, working with manufacturing, that all gets maintained through a commercially viable product that we can then manufacture.